Now we review She-Hulk Season 1, Episode 3. The People vs. Emil Blonsky. This is the one where She-Hulk twerks. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am still reviewing She-Hulk because I have a friend that will not let me watch House of the Dragon unless I do, and I'm not paying for the streaming services to do either. So, yes, I am now finally, after several months, getting to the third episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, which is the one where she defends Abomination after it's found out that he got out of jail and fought somebody. Okay? Before I get into that, let me remind you that, of course, for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. 4Ocean then pulls a ton of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. So if you'd be so kind as to comment, like, and subscribe, you'd be doing your part for a better world. Now, as I say, this episode has no real dramatic tension to it. It's more of a comedy, and you're not really worried about Abomination. His character is such that you just don't feel for him, and that may be intentional, but you should be hoping that your She-Hulk wins, you know? And there's a secondary case where She-Hulk's ex-colleague, who's a D-bag, went out with a shapeshifter and is trying to get his money back, or whatever business that is. Anyway, so yeah, look, this is probably the episode where I chuckled the most. And I mean, there is a funny scene, there's a fight scene where She-Hulk is like, oh yeah, I'm She-Hulk. You know, and there's that, and that's pretty good. Beyond that, the courtroom drama stuff is kind of lame. It's not very engaging. And it's not very funny. You know, it's one of those things where it feels very much apart from the MCU. It doesn't feel like it fits. The shots are always a lot tighter. The production quality is a lot lower. And then, of course, we have one of the most famous images from the show in this is the one where She-Hulk twerks. And it is a very underwhelming twerk. If you're hoping to see her twerk, you know, if like that was your thing, you're still not going to be satisfied because, yes, she does twerk. It really feels out of place, and it's not like, oh my God, great twerking. I mean, you know, you realize, yes, there's a big green tush under that, and it's probably a great big green tush. But, you know, she's still in a business suit, and it's still, you know, not really great twerking, just twerk-wise. I'm not a big fan of twerking to begin with, but I mean, I recognize the art, you know what I mean? Like, there's a certain art to twerking. When you see those chicks jump upside down and start twerking it, and there's something to be said about that, you know? This, not so much. It's also, it's the bouncing up and down kind, not the, I don't really know much about twerking. Anyway, so yeah, look, okay, so the third episode of She-Hulk, they establish certain things in this episode that will be important later. And that much I understand, okay? I don't know if I should spoil them for you, but I guess this is kind of old. So, I'm going to give you a spoiler warning right now. Someone is trying to get a sample of She-Hulk tissue. Okay? That's going to be important later on. Alright. Okay, spoiler over. So again, it's very much middle of the road. It's meh. If you're a fan of She-Hulk already, you will enjoy this. If you're a big fan of the MCU, you will enjoy this. If you're like me and you haven't seen every movie and haven't seen every TV show and you don't need to see it all, you're gonna be disappointed. Anyway. Oh, and one other thing I have to remember. When we were fighting for the fate of the universe there, Don't you think a character as powerful as the Hulk would have been important? I mean, I grant that it's Abomination, but, you know, it's like, hey, see that guy over there? He's going to snap his fingers, and there's a coin flip's chance you may cease to exist. Go do something about it. I'm pretty sure Abomination would be like, yes, that sounds like a great idea. Let me make sure he doesn't kill me. Yeah, that whole Infinity War thing really just breaks the MCU after that, doesn't it? Because you can't introduce new characters, because where the heck were they when the universe was in danger? Oh well, I guess it's not that important. Oh yes, and also in this episode, Wong in the house. And it explains a little more about his Sorcerer Supremeness. Anyway, so yeah, low on the watch list. It's not bad. It's reasonably entertaining. It's just not wonderful. But that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard. Salutations, plebeians! It is I, Stephen Miller, emissary and advisor to his dark orange lordship and the real President Donald Trump, reminding you to comment on and like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, or I will suck out your eyes and feed them to my two tarantulas, Meredith and Red Pill!